What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Elden Ring build guide. This time it is the Rotten Radical, which is pretty much the evolution of the Rotten Duelist that you see in the game, and by that I mean we are dual wielding two of these Rotten Battle Hammers. We're wearing a heavier armor set than he does, and of course we have access to Scarlet Aeonia. Anyways, let's get into this. First, the stats figures at 50, as you are supposed to be a bruiser, therefore you can tank some hits, and to use the Scarlet Aeonia properly you must be able to tank some damage. Mine is at 15, which is enough to cast a bunch of spells before you run out of mana. Endurance is at 27, could be taken down to 25 possibly. Strength is at 70, dexterity is at 12, that's by default. Intelligence is also by default at 9. Faith is at 35, just so we can have access to the spells that we need. And Arcane is also is at 12 currently, but should be at 9 because I was just experimenting with another spell that requires Arcane. We'll get into that soon enough. Anyways, now let's get into the items. As you can see, two heavy Rotten Battle Hammers. We are dual wielding them, and they both have the same Ash of War, Poisonous Mist, and the affinity is heavy currently. However, if you are fighting enemies that are weak or can easily be poisoned, or you can inflict rot upon them, then I would switch it out with the Poison Affinity, because that would allow you to have the passive effect of causing poison buildup, which is really nice. However, if they are immune to rot or poison, then I would stick with the heavy, as your strength scaling will drop from an S at heavy to a B at poison affinity. Rotten Duelist Helm, as you can see, Rotten Gravekeeper Cloak, Omen Gauntlets, and Omen Greaves. This just makes it so that you are tanky and you can take some damage. You can switch this out with, let's say, this one right here. This also increases your damage whenever you inflict rot or poison, so it's pretty useful if you want to focus on damage, but for the theme this fits it more, and this increases your resistances as well towards rot. So does the other one, but I just like how this one looks more. Great Jar's Arsenal, you need it because you are carrying a lot of stuff, and the way I see it is a defensive and offensive spell, or talisman rather, because it allows you to carry more weapons, therefore deal more damage, and wear heavier armor, therefore take less damage. This one, Dragoncrest Grey Shield Talisman, is a given, enormously boosts physical damage negation. Claw Talisman enhances jump attacks and Kindred of Rot and Exaltation. Poisoning or Rot in Vicinity increases attack power. These are your two offensive ones. The only thing I would switch them out with are any of these defensive ones, depending on the boss you're fighting, or I have used the Green Turtle Talisman against Millennia. Other than that, this is all you need, and the Opaline Heart Tier for more damage negation, and Strength Knot Crystal Tier so we can get our strength up to 80. Anyways, let's get into the spells really fast. And as you can see, it's all buffs. Beast of Vitality is very useful and cheap. You can use all these 3 buffs and then you will run out of mana, so you don't have to worry about drinking a flask until you are fully buffed. This one right here, as you can see, is why we have our Faith at 35, so we can use this, which is the most powerful spell that allows you to apply Scarlet Rot buildup. And that is it. So let's get into this build and let's show you what the Rotten Radical is capable of doing. Alrighty everyone, here we go. Let's see what we do to Marget. So first thing you want to do is apply Scarlet Aeonia. You want to get your rot in there, followed by your poison. You can use your Scarlet Aeonia in the beginning because you are fully buffed especially if you use your Flask of Wondrous Physic and you have the Obline or Opaline Heart tier in there, Black Plant Protection and Golden Vow, and you are pretty set to tank damage from almost any boss in the game. Don't forget your talismans as well. You have some defensive ones that like the Dragon Crest Great Shield and any of the other Drake talismans. So you do not have to worry about dying or being one shot with this build. You got 50 vigor on top of that, so you are set to go. As you can see, we take Marget out right here with ease and on our first attempt. Then we move on to, of course, Godric. This is why I told you probably do not want to invest any points into Arcane, because these dragon spells are useless. I just used all of my mana and I still didn't apply Rot on this guy. I actually applied poison way faster, and eventually now I apply Rot using my hammers. So if I were you, I wouldn't invest any points into Arcane. I wasted 3 points there. I would invest them somewhere else, like Strength, maybe Vigor. It's up to you really. Some, I don't know, Mind, Endurance, any of those would do. Here, after I critically hit him, I just got away from him and watch him rot away. Now we are moving to Rella after easily defeating Godric and Marget on our first tries. We go to Rella right here. As you can see, she's taking massive damage and Gale's down on the first attempt, and on her second phase it took me about like 2 jump attacks for me to like delete 40% of her health. As you can see, she's very weak against physical damage, so make sure you get in her face and attack her. And she also went down on her first attempt, so 3 so far. And we have General Radon here. As you can see, I'm trying to apply my poisons. I do apply it there. So yeah, I mean, I've used all of my mana. So you can go for Rot Breath, use all of your mana to apply Rot, or you can go for Scarlet Ionia and still have enough mana to, let's say, use Golden Vow, which is kind of expensive. So I would rather go for that. Golden Vow and Scarlet Ionia sound much better than just one Rot Breath. As you can see here, guys, very easy. You apply your Rot and you're set to go on your poisons. Every boss I have fought, except for the Elden Beast and for the main bosses, they all got Rot or poison applied onto them. This guy, General Radon, also, by the way, went down on my first attempt. However, Marget almost went down on my first attempt. He was so close, like I couldn't even see his health. But I got overconfident. I thought it was gonna kill him really easily, and he ended up killing me. So, unfortunately, with Marget, it took me 2 attempts. But as you can see, as long as you know the boss fights and mechanics and you're aggressive, it stands no chance. After Marget, of course, we open up the way to the snowy mountain tops and to our next boss fight, the Fire Giant. And the Fire Giant also doesn't stand much of a chance here. And as you can see, we inflict Rot in phase 1, and we continue pummeling him with by power stancing our 2 rotten hammers here. Those hammers are very nice. The only bad thing about them is you have to be really close to your enemy and make sure you are positioned properly, because you can miss easily with these weapons. But other than that, this is my favorite like strength build that has like status effect application in it, and I love it because it just speeds up, you know, your job. It's not like we apply Rot and we just kite them, right? No, we apply Rot and we get in their face and start attacking them as much as we can. Here, for some reason, in the second phase, even though I attacked him so much and like he has so much health, I was not able to apply Rot. Now, unfortunately, I didn't try to use Scarlet Ionia in the beginning of the second phase, which is something I probably should have done. However, I didn't, and therefore, this is one of the probably only bosses other than the Elden Beast that does not get Rot or Poison throughout the whole fight, I believe. So, we're gonna see very soon together. Anyways, guys, as you can see, it's really annoying. You're supposed to hit his hands and stuff, so if you don't, the fight's just gonna take damage from there. The Goskin duo weren't that tough, probably went down, I don't know, between 5 to 10 attempts, I'll say 7, 8, something like that. Good thing is you can poison both of them, and inflict Rot on both of them, and you have to keep in mind, even though you do want to inflict Rot and poison on both of them at the same time if possible, after you do that, you want to make sure that you focus and become very aggressive on one of them. I go for this big guy here first, because his rolling attack is annoying, so I try to get him out of the way before he becomes too much of a threat. And once I am able to defeat one of them, then the other one becomes much easier. This is part of the reason they make you fight each guy by himself at the beginning of the game, like mid-game, let's say, and then they give you both of them at the same time, because if you learn both of their movesets really well, and they're not that bad, but if you don't know their movesets and you're just randomly attacking them, that's when the fight becomes really hard. So one of the best things about this Raw and Radical is the fact that I took out Marget, Rella, Radon, a Fire Giant, of course Godric, all on my first attempt, something I have not done with any other build or any other character so far. And there's one more big boy that's going to go down on our first attempt, and you're going to see who it is very soon enough. And other than that, this guy was also pretty easy, probably went down on like my 5th attempt. It wasn't that tough, and again, as long as you apply Scarlet Rot, you should be fine. Hide behind the pillars whenever you want to buff or heal up, and then try to apply Scarlet Rot again in the second phase. Always try to apply Scarlet Rot as often as you can, and your poisons, Poisonous Mist, of course, your Ashen Boars. Now, if your affinity is poison, you don't have to worry about it that much unless you don't have to worry about using your Ashen Boar that much unless the enemy you're fighting has really high resistances, such as this guy, such as the Fire Giant, the second phase, and so forth. Then using Poisonous Mist and having Poison Affinity, so it would be great. If you're fighting somebody who's immune to Poison and Rot, I would change my affinities from Poison to Heavy, and that would change the scaling of your hammers from B to S, which is a big jump. And here I believe I apply Rot when I smack him in the head. I think when you headshot them, like you have a higher chance of applying Poison and Rot, so keep that in mind. Try to stagger this guy if you want to apply your poisons or Rot right away. And you can use your Asher 4 instead of using a jump attack like I did, and it would stance broken. Go right next to his head, use your Poisonous Mist Asher 4, and then critically hit it and get ready to attack afterwards again, or buff, whatever you need to do. So as you can see, guys, this guy took a while because these guys are usually have high resistances towards physical damage, so they're usually annoying when you're running strength builds, and this is what this is, strength build that uses status effects, just 2 poison and Rot, of course, and it's kind of like a Death Knight in a way if you think about it. an affliction death knight, I guess, right? So this is why I like it. It's very simple and easy to use, beginner friendly. It's carrying its own. This is the fastest playthrough I ever had so far. Like, I felt like I zoomed through the content, to be honest with you guys. Most bosses wouldn't take more than an hour. All these guys went down one after the other. I did take out Malekith before Dragon Lord Placidusax, or Placidusax, however you want to pronounce it. And here, this is the next big boy that goes down on my first attempt. This is where I show you the whole intro and me just entering from the very beginning. And I show you the entire fight here. I do not edit this whatsoever. And this is the only other fight other than the Marget fight, because that one was pretty quick. And I've always loved fighting this guy. I enjoyed getting my flawless victory against him when I was using the Lightning Legend. Now, flawless, I did walk over the fire, but other than that, he didn't have any direct hits on me, so that's why I called it flawless. And it's kind of hard to get flawless with this guy because, like, in his second phase, he's gonna do damage to you no matter what. If you have the right tier or whatever it is called, things like the purifying crystal or purifying tier. I'm not really sure, guys. But anyways, his second phase here, take full advantage of it by reapplying Rot and using your Scarlet Ionia. I probably should have went for Poisonous Mist as well, but I was just focusing on just dealing as much damage as I can. And knowing that I have applied Scarlet Rot on him, I was already happy. Plus, my weapons here have been imbued with poison, so my strength scaling is down, but I probably have already applied poison onto him. Unfortunately, you can't see the green cloud around him if you apply Rot. I wish you could see both of them so you could know, like, visually speaking, that you have both of your dots applied. And but it seems like because Rot is stronger, it overpowers the poison and you can't see the poison anymore. But if you do not apply Rot and only apply poison, then you can clearly see a poisonous cloud, like, coming out of his body. And as you can see, guys, really easy. I barely used any flasks, like 2 or 3 max, and that was about it. I believe she also went down on my first attempt, and that's about it. Those were all of the ones that I took out on my first attempt, guys. I wish I could have done more, but that's not bad. Like I said, this was my easiest and fastest playthrough so far, and I was surprised. I honestly thought this was going to take a bit longer. However, 50 vigor with the right setup, you're tankier than you think. Even if you run out of buffs, as long as you have full health, you should be fine. And with buffs, this will feel like, a fresh start playthrough more than NG plus 6. Can't believe there's only one more NG plus I have, guys. I wonder which character I'm gonna do or which build I'm gonna use for that playthrough, but we'll find out when the time comes. For now, after defeating Loretta, easily taking care of her, I, for the first time, defeat Millennia without getting naked, guys. And if you have watched all of my other playthroughs, all of my other build guides, you will know every time I fight Millennia, I take off everything and I try to, become or have a light load so I can roll faster and, roll further away from her every time I try to dodge roll. But here, I just felt so confident with this build. I was dominating everything in my path, even like if I died a few times, even 5, 6, 7, 10 times, like the fights, leading up to the 10th fight, they were all good fights where like I was like staggering the bosses, I was dealing good damage, but like I would just like do something silly and mess it all up. Panic or whatever it is. Otherwise, I was really just like wiping the floor with some of those bosses. And that is something I'm very surprised about because I had a Holy and Strength build, the Golden Guardian, prior to this. And like it didn't perform as well as this against specific bosses, like Millennia for example. But here I was so, again, confident and just in my ability to take her out. I didn't have to like change any of my gear or any of my setup, nothing, exactly the way I was running around the entire time. You know, defeating every boss using the same exact setup. Maybe one or two bosses I would have one talisman changed, like having a Drake talisman instead of, let's say, the Green Turtle talisman. Like those two would probably get switched around. But here, I did have the Green Turtle talisman, as she's fast, and I'm pretty slow. I have really heavy weapons. I'm power stancing them, so the Green Turtle talisman really saved me. As you can see here, you can jump over one of their attacks. And even when they hit me, like they didn't deal that much damage. They really didn't. And the gear that you're wearing as well, do not forget, it has really high resistances towards poison and rot. So now it doesn't have the best resistances towards them, but it does also have a lot of physical resistances because, you know, you're using, let's see, the duelist set, and well, we already discussed them, but you already know what they are. So, and the Omen set together combined, and they make you really tanky, and things feel really good. Like I don't know how to explain how good I felt playing as the Raw and Radical. But I think I've expressed my joy and my, you know, my like gratitude for this build, like seriously for this character. It made life so much easier. Anyways, giving Millennia a taste of her own medicine, you do want to use Scarlet Ionia on her. She does get poisoned. Much easier during her second phase than her first. Moving on, old man, look at this. Is how I cheesed him. He was annoying. He was probably one of the most annoying. Honestly, he was probably the most annoying boss, and out of all of the bosses in the entire playthrough, nobody pissed me off more than this guy. So I decided to cheese him. And as you can see, I'm just chilling, running around behind the pillars, you know, hopping over from one side to the other, and then taking advantage of this pillar here and applying rot to him whenever I can. Here he almost gets me, but I get lucky and he only hits me once, and I have full health, of course. And then I finish him up with my only melee attack. Yeah, that's right guys, only one melee attack. And then back to normal bosses, things you can predict, instead of some old man who apparently never runs out of stamina. I mean, like, for an old guy, how do you not run out of stamina? Like, he just shoots one spell after another. Unlike this Giga Chad here, he's much slower. I mean, he is much bigger as well, and he does hit, I guess, harder with his physical attacks. I don't know, my magic resistance are pretty bad, I'm guessing, with this armor set here. Because the old man was dealing massive damage to me in comparison to this guy here. So, Godfrey, as you can see, first phase, it's very easy. You don't have to worry much. You apply rot in the beginning and your poisons, and then you get ready to get into second phase. Once you transition to second phase, reapply rot. You have to do that. It makes it easier. And again, as you can see here, it hits me. Didn't do that much damage in comparison to what the old no one was doing to me. So this wasn't that bad either, actually. I enjoyed this fight quite a lot using the Ron Radical, as I did with most other bosses. They were fun. I don't know why I love this build as much as I do. Um, I do love strength builds, generally speaking. But anyways, guys, we are reaching nearly the end here. So let's focus on the last two bosses, and then we're gonna end it. This guy you can apply rot to. As you can see, every boss so far I was able to apply rot to, except for the Elden Beast, unfortunately. So this build will carry you through. The rot and the poison will carry you through. You do not have to worry about them not working, except for the Elden Beast, as I already mentioned. Other than that, I always loved fighting this guy. It never was that hard. Except on my first attempt or my first few attempts. And here, as you can see, I'm getting used to it. I'm even attacking him with animation. I've done that multiple times by now. Unfortunately, I never broke his stance. I tried so hard, but I just didn't want to. As you can see, now he's gonna die. And here we go, guys. Last boss fight. So, Elden Beast in the beginning, of course, I buffed. That's why you didn't see the beginning. I was just buffing, and then I got next to him and started using jump attacks. And that's what I do here. I use a lot of jump attacks. I have the Claw Talisman on here, I believe. I use the Claw Talisman most of the time. The Claw Talisman and the Kindred of Rot Exaltation. I do switch them out, I told you, sometimes with some defensive ones or something like a utility one. The Elden Beast doesn't just glitch there for a second, his movement. I don't know what was wrong with it. And at this part right here, he kept using the same attack again and again, like 3 times in a row. It's made my life so much easier. See, again. And actually, him just being an idiot and just doing the same thing again and again has allowed me to undep, oh there you go, like 3 times in a row, has allowed me to take advantage of, you know, how easily I could have predicted all of that. I can't believe I didn't predict, I didn't predict how to dodge that attack. Okay, I've done it like 2 times in a row prior, but because he kept doing the same attack, it allowed me to stagger him. Stance broken there, dealt some damage, and then got back to doing my jump attacks. Anyways, guys, this is pretty much the end, so I hope you enjoyed the Rotten Radical. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and keep voting, guys, for the next build. Anyways, and as always, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you're all having a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care, y'all. Peace.